Hello, humans and freaks. It is one of my favorite times of the year, the Mr. Olympia competition. Best bodybuilding show on earth, the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. And that is tomorrow night, Friday night and Saturday night, two-part show. So here's my top 10 predictions. This is literally probably the best lineup since the 90s. It's one of the best lineups ever. Arguably one of the most stacked lineups of all time. It really is. I mean, those 90s lineups were crazy. But this one, it's up there. It's up there. I don't know if it's going to be as good as some of those 90s lineups or early 2000s lineups. But it's going to be nuts because there's going to be amazing bodybuilders that won't even make the top 10 at this Olympia. All right, so I'm just going to do the men's open and then maybe mention some other categories. But here we go. Here's my top 10. And I'm laughing because I'm probably going to be way off because it's just so hard to predict this one. But I'm going to predict it in the sense of how I believe the judges are going to judge it. If I was judging the Mr. Olympia, I'd probably put Brandon Curry in first place because I think he has the best Mr. Olympia physique up there. I think Brandon Curry has it. And if not him, probably Derek Lunsford. But anyway, here we go. Here's my top 10. So first, I got Big Ramy in first. I got Brandon in second. I got Hottie in third. Bonac in fourth. Derek in fifth. Nick in sixth. Hunter seventh. Samson 8th. Andrew Jacked 9th. And Akeem Williams 10th. That's what I think is going to happen. And that's just assuming that they all show up at their best. That's how I think the judges are going to do it, if they all show up at their best. But we know nobody ever shows... You never get a lineup where everybody shows up 100%. It never happens. So somebody's going to come in off, and somebody's going to surprise the heck out of all of us and just... And I think that person's going to be Derek. Okay, Derek Lunsford. Honestly, Derek Lunsford, this is going to sound nuts, but I believe he could win the entire Mr. Olympia, depending on how he comes in. Derek Lunsford could win the whole Mr. Olympia at his first attempt. Now, are the judges going to give him that if he even deserves it? Probably not. And that's what I don't like about bodybuilding a lot of times, is even if someone does deserve a higher placing, if it's their first time, a lot of times they don't give it to them just because they have to quote unquote pay their dues or whatever bullcrap. But Derek Lunsford could win the entire Mr. Olympia. All right, so here's what I think is going to happen. All right, so I give you my top 10. So let's go. Big Ramy. I believe Big Ramy is going to pull 2003 Ronnie Coleman and come in at his all-time biggest and best at this Olympia. I really believe he is. And we'll see. But if he does that, then it's game over. Big Ramy wins. If he does that. Brandon Curry, I got in second. Like I said, I would give... Brandon Curry is your uncrowned Mr. Olympia. He won last year. I don't care what anybody says. He won last year. And many, many experts that were there in person had Brandon Curry winning last year. He won. Brandon Curry was your winner last year. So they robbed him last year. They robbed him. And then in 2019, Hottie Chupon should have beat Brandon Curry in 2019. They robbed Hottie in 2019. So, this is the unfortunate reality of bodybuilding sometimes. But yeah, Big Ramy, I think, is going to pull a 2003 Ronnie Coleman. I think Brandon Curry is going to come in at his all-time best and biggest. His legs will be better. They're getting a little better every year. And when I say legs, I mean his quads specifically. But here's the thing. If Brandon is at his all-time biggest and best, and his quads from the front look full enough, because his legs from the side are amazing. Brandon can win this Olympia for sure. If he's truly coming in at his all-time biggest and best, he can win it easily. Hottie Chupon in third. Again, he's always usually the best conditioned guy, the most ripped guy. Hottie Chupon, he was robbed last year. You know, he definitely should have been higher last year. If his shoulders are fixed, Hottie he needs to get those lumps out of his shoulders. And he needs to pose to hide his weak leg, because one of his legs is bigger than the other, Hottie's. One of his quads is noticeably bigger than the other. So he needs to pose in a certain way to kind of hide that weakness. And like I said, if Brandon's hamstrings are bigger from the back, because from the back, Brandon needs thicker hamstrings from the back, and he needs more detail in his hamstrings and glutes. If Brandon is at his all-time biggest and best with bigger hamstrings and more conditioned hamstrings and glutes from the back, I don't see how he can't win, Brandon, honestly. But Hottie, again, amazing. Hottie's amazing. Bonac in fourth. Bonac, his legs were down the last few years. Bonac had some injuries, but it looks like Bonac is going to be back to his old self. If he's back to his old self, which I think he probably will be, and his waist is under control, he could be as high as second, Bonac. Derek Lunsford, I got him in fifth, but like I said, he could be first, man. Derek is like the person I'm really wanting to see. He's the most exciting person in this lineup to see, Derek. He could win the whole thing. I got him in fifth, though. Nick Walker in sixth. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but oh man, I don't know. This is what's crazy, is you got to put somebody somewhere. These guys, Nick Walker, sixth. That sounds crazy because, you know, he should be up there in the top 3 or 4. But I got him in sixth, man. I don't know. I just have him in sixth. I think he's going to come in probably at his all-time best, too. Hunter Labrada, I got in seventh. Hunter got a gift last year. He got a gift last year, Hunter. Hunter, there's no way he should have been fourth last year. No way. No way. They gave him a gift last year, but we'll see what happens this year with Hunter. But I got him in seventh. Samson Dauda, I got in eighth, and again, he could be high. He could be right up there, honestly, in that top 6 for sure, Samson, for sure. He just seems to have kind of like thicker skin for some reason. But if he's ripped up and dry from the back, from the front and the side, he's insane. But yeah, Samson can be as high as up in that top 6 for sure. Maybe even top 3. I got Andrew Jack in 9th. I don't know. I just don't know if he is going to come in the condition he needs to come in, as ripped and dry as he needs to be. He's good, and he's definitely a future Mr. Olympia. I mean, easily, if he keeps going in the same direction, putting on the size that he's doing. He won a couple shows earlier in the year, but, you know, this is the Mr. Olympia. Andrew Jack, I got in 9th. Akeem Williams, I got in 10th. I don't know. No one's talking about Akeem, but Akeem has been 6th before. No one's talking about him. I don't know what's going on with him, but I got him in 10th. I don't see why he can't be in the top 10. I got Ian Valliere out of the top 10. And he's probably not going to be out of the top 10, but I got him out of the top 10. If all these guys I listed are in shape, I see him out of the top 10. But they like Ian. I don't know. Ian, he's good, but I've always thought he's kind of overrated for some reason. But Ian I got out of the top 10. That's assuming all those other guys come in shape, but he's probably going to be in the top 10. And Akeem probably won't be. I got Charles Griffin out of the top 10, Tonio Burton, James Hollingshead, Muhammad Shaban. I got all of them out of the top 10, man. Those are really good bodybuilders. But someone I'm forgetting is Michael Krizo. I have no idea where he'll place. You know what? I'm going to put Michael Krizo in 10th and take Akeem out of the top 10. I'm going to put Michael Krizo in there. So that's my top 10. Anyway, we'll see what happens at prejudging tomorrow night, Friday night. I'm really excited to see this at Mr. Olympia. This is going to be amazing to watch. Amazing to watch. So we'll do a wrap-up of prejudging and then do a new prediction for who's going to win. All right. Take care.